There's a lady laying in the pool.
Is she awake?
Well, ma'am, she dead.
My homie locked up in the pen right now. Police spoke to him about him killing your wife and you in this house. You know what I'm saying?
I told you you got paid everything.
A worried manager has put a call through to the police, stating her fear about a delivery sent out. The driver is yet to return, which is unusual. The officer on call narrates the event, and he seems to be sure something is wrong, as businesses in the area that the supposed driver went to supply are never open that late. The officer in charge gets the address for the pizza delivery, and he's curious, looking to see if Ashley has been involved in an accident. However, there are no signs of a possible accident. What could have happened? Several possible things must be going through the officer's mind. Ashley couldn't have vanished into thin air without probable cause, at least none that was obvious. There are no lights in the building. Everywhere is dark, and the officers can't see anything. He decides to go through the back to get a better view, and suddenly he walks into what looks like a puddle of blood, with the place looking like someone had struggled. Ashley may have been lured into that building for a purpose, but for what? And by whom? Ashley's partner points the finger at Ashley's ex-boyfriend, Chad Cobb, her daughter's father, stating they were in a severe custody battle. The police set out to look for him, but they don't find him at his residence. The search continues, and eventually the car is found at Chad's grandparents with his wife and 4 kids. Why are they in the car at that time of day? And where's Chad? Ashley's car is finally found, with her body in the back seat with the pizza. Clearly, she died a very gruesome death, and Chad is said to be responsible. He is arrested and charged with aggravated murder. What is still unclear is why he would kill his child's mother, and whether a custody battle is enough reason to end someone's life in such a brutal manner. A 17-year-old Ryan Gurgis places a 911 call, stating a break-in occurrence and worrying about his mother's well-being. One can only imagine how the young man feels while making this call. The responding police officers find his mother's corpse. Ryan is taken in for questioning, unaware that his mother died because he ran out of the house to get help.
And then, they both, pushed me, and then I fell over, and then they dragged me to the floor, and they're, stalking me.
He is devastated and in tears as the interrogating officer breaks the news.
Your mom just passed away. Trying to do everything we can to...
It's a horrific and traumatic experience, losing his mother. It is normal for Ryan to get so emotional, but there is one question that remains unanswered. The victim's husband, who lives elsewhere, becomes a suspect because even after being told his estranged wife was murdered, he still goes to work.
She doesn't want to continue the relationship anymore. I have to split her free.
This act has guilt written all over it. It thus raises suspicions. However, as the interrogation continues, one of the men is careless enough to leave behind a trace, which provides a clue for the police officers. Even though there is a suspect, there is no connection between the suspect and the victim's husband. It is undeniable that he must have hired the suspect through a middleman. Still, all this is speculation unless he's proven otherwise.
Did you pay anybody to break into your wife's house? What kind of question is that? That's the question I have to ask.
The police devise a plan to spook the victim's husband and see if he will confess. He admits to the crimes and is arrested.
Homie locked up in the pen right now. Police spoke to him about him killing your wife and you in this house. You know what I'm saying?
I told you got paid everything.
The trial lasts 2 weeks, and the jury reaches a verdict. Magni, the victim's husband, is sentenced to life in prison. Although it is not so much of a shock for anyone that he gets the sentence, it is shocking that he was ready to throw his son under the bus for something he did. Why he did what he did remains a mystery. A female worker is murdered in one of the most brutal ways. From the wounds on her face, the police discover an unsettling truth regarding the murderer. Also, they figure out that since it is a private building with few accesses to entry, the murderer could be a fellow employee. The victim is identified to be 42-year-old Michelle McBee. Michelle's husband gets the news of his wife and is devastated, as expected. Imagine being told that your wife, who you just said goodbye to hours ago, has been viciously murdered. Although distraught, he's not entirely ruled out of the suspect list. There are two major suspects due to their criminal records, but one stands out: David Dooley. His record raises certain questions and is suspicious, which the officers cannot rule out. He is unusually clean, especially as a janitor of this company. It turns out that David was breaking into Michelle's office, but he's unfortunate that she clocks in earlier than usual and catches him red-handed. David is arrested and charged with first-degree murder and kidnap. A maintenance man who alerted the authorities finds a former model dead in her pool.
It's a lady laying in the pool.
Is she awake?
No, ma'am. She's at the bottom of the pool. Well, ma'am, she's dead.
He identifies her to be 38-year-old Samira Thrush. Her family isn't around at the time of her death, so the police have two things to worry about: finding her family and investigating her drowning.
Are you with the patient now?
Ma'am, she got some kids. I don't know where the kids are. I don't know nothing.
Okay, I just need you to stay right there.
Samira and her husband were going through a divorce before her passing, which makes him a prime suspect. The police find him, and he asks if his wife is dead.
And when my friend called me Kendall and told me, that's how I kind of knew.
How isn't that suspicious? There's no way one would see a bunch of police officers and think, oh, my wife must be dead. Adam, Samira's husband, is arrested and imprisoned for the murder of his wife. Adam spills his secret in detail and to the wrong person. The said inmate goes to give information in exchange for freedom. His opportunity comes and he grabs it. Who wouldn't do the same? Adam Thrush is convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. This is a relief for the police department and Samira's family, as justice is served. The jury barely deliberates on his sentence. Adam is found guilty. He is cuffed and led out of the courtroom by correctional officers to the prison, where he will be carrying out his sentence.